What is up? Welcome back to another hashtag Lockboss Show and Giveaway, and Happy New Year. It is 2024, I tell you. Here we go, another year, right? But I just want to say thank you, first of all, to all of you who are here with us today. Of course, I'm drinking a Topo Chico. Cheers to all of you out there drinking one as well, or your favorite beverage of choice. And man, honestly, as I was getting ready to do this, I can see myself in the camera and I'm like, I need a haircut. So I'm going to go get a haircut after this. Wow. But you'd think I'd pay more attention getting ready in the morning, but hey. Anyways, let's see here. Yes, Sherelle says, it's 2024. Where are the flying cars, right? Oh, man, that's good. Let me scroll up here and see. Yeah, Mr. James E. Step, hey, congrats again on winning. I see that you said you put hopefully a $2,000 order in, right? Good stuff. And I tell you what, we're excited to be launching Lockboss Season 3 here in 2 weeks. So excited for that. And there's just so much good stuff coming with it that I can't wait to share with you. Man, I had a pistachio from Doug Kimber here just a minute ago, and it's like kind of stuck in my throat or something. I don't know what the deal is. But all right, well, hey, let's go ahead and let's hop into today's show. As I was talking about earlier, or last week, I should say, talked about this cool video that we had coming out on Sunday, which you guys have all hopefully now seen. If not, go check it out. And it's when I go around here locally with a couple of my kids and do a price survey on what I believe is, the two most standard keys found on a house, right? A quick set key, or Schlage for that matter. And then also a 1646 mailbox key. So did the price survey. We're going to talk about it and dive into it a little bit. And this will be a pretty interactive live today. So when we get to it, I'm definitely going to want all of your feedback, and let's together, let's put some pricing together. Let's talk through it a little bit, and it should be good. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's see here. Breach says, very excited about season 3. Also, yes, I think you're going to absolutely love it. Sean C, what's up? He says, I made a live, so excited for this one. Yeah, it's going to be good. Bouncer, what's up? Said, PJ, what's your favorite Topo Chico flavor? Honestly, I just, for the most part, just like the plain ones. Those lime ones that were twist of lime ones were delicious as well. But for the most part, I drink the plain ones. I don't know why, but let's see. Keep going here. Yeah, John, Happy New Year to you as well. Lockfather, what's up? He says, if you don't like those pistachios, you can give them to me. Well, hey, you know where they are. I keep them right up here in the toolbox. So, Lockfather, as always, help yourself. Kids, you mean film crew and key inspector? Thank you, Sherelle. You're right. My film crew, my key inspector. I like it. Let's see here. Gustavo, hey, Happy New Year to you as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get the show started and dive into our topic this week here. All right. First up are the posts of the week. Now, I had to include this one here. How cool is it? I just want to say once again, congratulations to our Lockboss Season 2.2 winners, Curto Lock and Key and James E. Step. James, I know for sure you're at least live on right now. And not only am I really excited for you winning and being able to order the supplies and the tools and the parts that you want and have it all for free. The best part is, though, is how I hope it helps your business and the profitability, maybe getting some equipment that you didn't necessarily want but needed, or some supplies that you'll be able to make money on, whatever it might be. Really excited for you there. And also for Curto Lock and Key, same to you. All right, this post comes to us from Floyd. Floyd says, this gift arrived after being home 3 days with the flu. It completely made my week. I just want to thank PJ and the entire staff at CLK Supplies for their hard work. I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, with emphasis on Christ, and a Happy New Year. Well, Floyd, thank you very much, man. It's been a great holiday season between Christmas and the New Year. We definitely got to spend a lot of time with the fam, hanging out. I also was able to get a few extra golfing times in, so including yesterday morning, which was pretty awesome. But good stuff. Hey, and by the way, I like the picture here. I like seeing. I mean, you got your flash sitting off to the right there. You got your Blitz machine. I see the water bottle, all the stuff we sent you there, and some locks and keys hanging on the wall. So it was good. I don't know about you guys, but anytime I see a photo of some sort of a workbench that is lock and key related, like I tend to study it, right? Just out of curiosity, you know, like I always like to look and be able to think, what type of work are they typically doing here, right? And sometimes you'll see like it's very automotive focused, maybe both, you know, the machines. It's pretty cool. But Floyd, thank you for sending that in. All right, comment of the week comes from Elmars5933. Happy New Year, my friend. Man, I see no problem paying $3.50 to $5. Remember, we are absolutely professional, but charging less creates much more walk-in traffic, which means more than likely they will buy something else while they're waiting for a key. Well, Elmars, thank you for sending that comment in and really sharing your perspective. It's kind of hard to argue with that, right? At the same time, you know, I think the biggest point that I was trying to make without the video, outside of, you know, figuring out what the pricing is for us, right? We know how much just you know, when you buy a 250 pack of keys and how much it cost us, right? And, you know, we know that there's a great margin on it. But sometimes we can tend to forget the value that it provides other people. And I think one of the most, you know what, and here, let's just dive into the topic here, because I'm starting to go there anyway. So how much should you charge? Now, to continue on with what I was saying is that the big question that we all have to answer for each one of our businesses out there is are you leaving $1 per key or even 50 cents per key on the table? And what I mean by that, right? So pretty much everything that we do is perceived as some sort of value, either high value or low value, right? For example, and this is just an example that's popping up in my head, is if I am going to go to Harbor Freight, right, to buy some tools, I'm expecting to pay cheap, right? It's going to be cheap. And even my expectation on the quality of what I'm going to get there might be so-so, all right, as a general rule of thumb. In the same way that if the Snap-on truck pulled up and I was wanting to buy some tools, I know I'm going to spend more, but I also know that I'm going to get more. Now, I realize most of us fall in the middle of all of that, including myself. And, you know, like, I'll give you a good example. Like, I think Milwaukee builds awesome tools, right? Like their tools, all of that are amazing. For what I use tools for at my house is kind of like your, you know, your standard homeowner doing some, you know, little projects and stuff. And I've used Ryobi. Now, is Ryobi, in my opinion, better or as good as Milwaukee? No, but it's good enough for what I need it for, right? And is what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you a few of examples of the nuances that come with the price of keys. And let's face it, today, in the world we live in, $3, $4, $5, we almost expect it for everything. I most recently went to Starbucks to pick up a drink for my wife, which, man, she hasn't really bought in years now. And it was a chai latte with almond milk, which is her favorite drink. And it was like $6.24. I was like, are you joking? But it's one of those things that, stuff costs a lot nowadays. In the same way, when you go to Home Depot and you go to or wherever and you go get some nuts or bolts or what have you in the section, so many of them. I was in there recently looking for some, and they were like 80 or 95 cents a piece. And I was eating like 5 or 6. It was $5 or $6 for a few standard bolts, or nuts. And my point with saying all that is that I think as a whole, we undercharge in our industry. And I would say that if you want to have that low price, that's totally fine. And of course, it's your business. And one of the best parts about having your own business is you get to charge and do what you want, right? At the same time, you want to make sure that you understand what you're leaving on the table there, and you start compounding $1 or 50 cents times X amount of keys a week times 52 times a year. And it could be actually serious money. And so what to talk about the video I went to, when I went to that Ace Hardware, I was very surprised. Like they're leaving money on the table. I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to go try to find a manager, but to charge that, $224, I believe it was, for the keys is like, in my head, that was like maybe 2005 prices or whatever. And the funny part, a little insider baseball that I know that the access keys and those type of keys, and I've been able to be a little privy to some of that information, and they pay a lot more than you do for keys. Now that's a general rule of thumb here, but it's not like they're buying a Kwikset key for 4 cents or 6 cents, right? Like they're just not doing that. And so it's not like, they're charging less because it costs them less. It's definitely not the case. So I think it's one of those cool things that we have the opportunity to understand and charge accordingly. So with that being said, the first question I have for you is, did the video, and I'm looking for yes or no, when you watch the video, did it change your mind on if you should be charging more for a Kwikset or 1646 key? That's my first question. Yeah, I like that. Dave, thanks for posting that. I like, he says, Lewis here sells a KW1 for $398. I'm not going to undercut them. That is so true. Friendly Lock and Key has it going. It says, in my area, Ace Hardware store charges $8 a key. Yeah, and I think, thanks for sharing that, actually. But yeah, I think one of the biggest things when I mentioned the Ace Hardware is if they're locally, it's locally owned, right? And so they're going to really be all over the place. Okay, we're getting lots of yeses. Very cool. Okay, so really glad to hear that. The next question I have for you is that if you're charging, let's call it $398. If you ask me, the standard price for a Kwikset key in America today is going to be $398. Okay. Two out of the 4 places I went, that's what they charged. One was way higher on that key me, and then there is that Ace was a real lower. So if you were to take out, when people do statistical studies, sometimes they'll take out the lowest denominator and the common, and then average everything in between, right? And so I think $398 is a good price, $399, whatever it might be. So with that being said, okay, I like it. Reading the comments here, very good. Yes, yeah. Cheryl says, PG is on a mission to increase our profitability. Absolutely, I am. And that's why it's the first of the year. It's always fun. If you remember last year, I was talking about kind of similar stuff. Okay, so if a standard house key, let's just call it as $4, a 1646 key, the standard mailbox key in America today nowadays, how much do you plan to charge for it? I would love to know in the comments here. So if $4 is the standard quickset key. Now, let me also include that, you know, 2 of the 4 places didn't even have that key, which is crazy to me. Okay, Gumby has a little more, insight here. Gumby says Ace was only $2.99. Yep. Let's see here. Okay, we got some $6, $9. James Estep says $4. Very good. Dave's asking the Lockfather, what are you going to charge for quickset or KW1 SC1 key? Let us know, Lockfather. He and I have been actually having quite a bit discussion. He actually called me after he watched the video. So, Lockfather, feel free to chime in here. Okay. Let the answers come in. Yeah, so I think, yeah, the $6, I don't know. Like, I think something above $4 is right, in my opinion. It's not as a popular key, right? And if you ever think about this for a second, okay? A KW1 key is quite large, right? Here. Actually, while we're doing this here, let me grab a couple keys here. Let's see. Okay. So I have this KW1 key here. And then I have this, what is it? X132 key, LF12. As you can see, the quickset key definitely has more brass than this X132 key. Yet it costs substantially more. Why? Well, it's because it's based on, you know, supply and demand, right? And we should be looking at we should be looking at keys that same way, right? And let's see here. $6 for D&D. Yep. C123s are, yeah, $15. What about the best key? I just bought 20 at $2 Canadian each. Perfect. So with the main point here that I want to make is that the more rare the key is, or the harder to find the key is, it's 9 out of 10 times it's going to cost you substantially more. And 2, like for example, a 1646 and a KW1, there's a good price difference between those 2 keys, right? And so at minimum, not charging the gap between there is not good, okay? Let's see here. John Falke, what's up? He says, I charge a competitive price with the experience that I'm providing, considered $425 or more. Very good. Let's see here. So true. Keys have to pay rent for sitting on the shelf. I like it. Best in Everest, we have $12. Should be more. Yeah, you know, let's talk about best keys for a minute here, okay? This is the, like, let me walk through my perspective on this. You walk into a lock shop and you want a quickset key. Let's just say they're going to charge you $4. Okay. And what are they going to do? They're going to take your existing key. They're going to go take a blank and they're going to put it in a duplicator. I don't know, probably cost them somewhere between $500 and $1,000. Okay. That cuts all sorts of keys. They're going to put them in there and they're going to cut the key. They're going to give it to you. They're going to be done. But most of the time, when you bring a best key in to a place, they're going to take it. They're going to decode it one way or another. They're then going to code cut it, and they don't charge much more than a standard quickset or Schlage key, or maybe even double. At the same time, someone comes in and needs a Y11 key cut by code. It's going to be like $20, right? $15 or $20. And I've always found it interesting that for cutting a Y11 key by code or a mailbox key by code, they're going to charge $15, $20 or way more. But to do a best key, you're going to do all of that work that you charge 15, 20 plus dollars for $10 is crazy, is absolutely crazy to me. And so I don't know. I hope if that's one thing you you get out of it, you know. But yeah, Zach, you're right. Buy a blue punch. It's the right way to go, right? And so not only are you decoding it and cutting it by code, you're also using a specialized machine that's just set up to do that, right? And yeah, it's one of those things. So I would just say consider, if you are cutting best keys or any sort of other key that you need to cut by code, compare what you're charging for that compared to if a customer walked in and needed a mailbox key cut by code. Is there a big discrepancy there? If there is, I would really look at bringing one up to the other. But yeah, best R picky for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, BD Forbes, preach it, right? Oh my gosh, yeah. So I'm not trying to get too big of on a roll here. You know, I sincerely, and this, like I said at the beginning, I think when you own your own business, you're supposed to charge what you want, and that's fine. If you want to do it for less, totally understandable. It's hard, though, at the same time, when you start looking at the inflationary environment we're living in, the cost of everything going up, maybe staff to pay, all this other stuff. Like if we're not going to be competitive in the market, we really can put ourselves at a disadvantage, right? And so I would just try to keep a close eye on that. But I tell you what, let's see here. Oh, Jay Flake H-Name, what's up? I haven't seen you around for a while. Hope you're doing well. Lathe cut keys are junk. Yeah, they're not quite as good as the other way. That is for sure. Let's see here. The only machine we have that will cut a best key correctly, and that's a Blitz. We have 5 broken Blitz machine and 1 worked. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When it comes to best, you can do it like that. You can use a frame and tube, all that stuff. Any sort of high volume, typically at some point, investing in some sort of a punch machine like the Right-Hand or the Blue Punch is typically the way to go. Or the framing. I mean, the framing machines do it as well. But there's already so much going on with best. Like the less you can complicate it, the better, in my opinion. So one last thought I want to leave you with here. We're going to go on to our announcing this week's 5 lucky winners. And that is what I've called now for a while is the rule of 10. So what we haven't talked about is how much is a HD 106 key or a 103 key? How much is a TR47? Like those type of prices, right? Or an X132 like I have sitting right here. When it comes to those type of keys, like how do you figure out what you should charge? And I just want to give you one quick simple tip that I hope that you can take and apply to your business as needed. And that is the rule of 10. If you're going to buy a key, and let's say that key is 90 cents a key, typically you have to buy 10, right? And so you're going to be into that key, that pack of keys, $9, right? If they're 90 cents a piece. So as a rule of thumb, never, ever, ever, ever sell one of those keys for less than $9. Let that be your starting place. Because all of us have been to walk shops that have boards and walls of keys, and there's a lot of them sitting on there. And you go on top and there's dust sitting on there, right? Because we're in a business where all of a sudden we have some customers that want the keys, and then all of a sudden we have no customers that want those keys, and they're going to sit there. And so you want to make sure that all of the keys that you have to order in and put on your shelf, and or if they're expensive, the rule of 10 is the best advice in the starting spot that I can give you. Once again, if a key, let's say it costs $1.10 a piece, you're going to want to sell it for a minimum of $11. Okay. And use that as a rule of thumb to start. The math, in my opinion, as they say on the internet, the maths don't work if it's under that. So anyways, that's what I got for you today. I wanted to take some time and talk about it. I'm looking forward to the National Locksmiths or the Locksmith Ledger, their price survey coming out. Of course, every year when it comes out, I like to do a survey on it and some lives on it. So I'll be doing that once I get it all. But I hope that helps. I really appreciate all of you hanging out and contributing to the conversation. And it's so great to learn and see what everyone else is charging and the different perspectives. That and the cool part is here, okay, as long as I'm in charge around here, it's okay to have a completely different perspective, but we can be respectful of those and hopefully even learn something in the meantime. So very, very cool. All right. So without further ado, Julio, I know I've been going on like crazy. I'm surprised you haven't been honking horns or I don't know what you'd be doing, but go ahead and put a little bit of music on, huh? Page on what to do if you win. You're going to want to email us your shipping info to sales@CLKsupplies.com or call us at 800-848-6989 and we'll send your gifts soon. How to win. All you have to do is comment on our videos and include the hashtag Lockboss. Winners will be chosen from comments on the previous week's videos for our weekly giveaway. And with that being said, winner number 1 this week is Kyle at a dub. Kyle, congratulations. Winner number 2 is LC Lockout. Congrats. Winner number 3 is G Potter BMX. Congratulations. Winner number 4 is Agus Locksmith USA. Congratulations. And last but not least, winner number 5 this week is Herschel 40. Very, very cool. Congrats to all of our winners. And of course, I think only for a few more days, the Lockpick lineup hoodie will be available for free. I saw some people getting it today, so I'm sure it's still actually available. But hey, there you have it. That is today's show. And, I'll stick around here for a minute. Something funny, okay, is, and congrats to all the winners. Let's see here. Robert says great rule of thumb on the pricing. Yep, absolutely. Something funny, just a little quick side note is, when the video came out Sunday, I showed Alice, my key checker, and, it was so funny to watch her watch it because first of all, she was like, why does my voice sound like that? Because that's not what it sounds like in real life. And I was like, actually, what you think you sound like in your own ears and what other people hear is different, right? And she doesn't believe me. And then on top of it, she was just like, Dad, it is so embarrassing to watch myself. And I just couldn't help but love it, right? Because I think all of us actually feel that way, right? Like we hear our voice and we're like, wow, that's not what I hear. And 2, you see yourself in photos or on videos and you're just like, I look at myself every day in the mirror and that's just not what I look like, right? But it was pretty fun. And and as always, honestly, it's so much fun being able to have my kids on and do that type of stuff with me. So it's always, it was a fun little family project to figure out the pricing. So I'm really happy that we were able to do that together. But as FTRV Denny says, the bloopers were great. Yeah, the bloopers are hard to watch, I mean, they really were, but it was really, really fun to do that with a couple of my kids. And I don't know why. Have you noticed in the past month or so, I've had a couple of videos that I did with my kids, and my oldest daughter, Addie, was there for both of them, but she refused. She's 15, going to be 16 next month. And, she's at the phase where she doesn't really want to be on the internet with her dad in particular, which I don't necessarily blame her for that, right? But Let's see. Jim says, "Don't tell her voice isn't as good as it is in the shower." You know, I gotta tell you, one of the greatest joys I have as a parent is I have 3 daughters, right? And all of them, and even different ones, they'll be in their room and they'll be doing something, and like you'll hear, especially when they're little, right? They're singing and stuff. It is just a blast to hear them do that. So yeah, it's so true, and they will definitely not hear that from me. But anyways, everybody, well, hey, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for contributing to the part of the conversation. And I couldn't be more excited to be here with you all heading into 2024. We got Lockboss Season 3 coming up here in a couple weeks. And we're mixing it up. It's going to be different. It's going to be awesome. And we're going to be doing it together. So really, really, really excited to kick that off with you all and spend 2024 together. So I hope you all are having a wonderful new year. And of course, I will leave you with a little bit of music. Y'all take care. I'm gonna go get my haircut. Have a great night.